Nobody can say no. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no.
Dennis?
Yeah?
It's nice to be back with you.
It's been good, but I missed you.
Look at you.
I missed you. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
It's good to be here.
You had a good time off?
It was a wonderful time. I will share with our audience that my family and I went on a cruise, which we had booked from January. It was my mother-in-law's 70th birthday.
Nice.
And that is what she had booked from last year for her birthday, and she did not know that we were going. So we surprised her on the boat, and she literally looked like she saw Duppy.
Was she?
So yeah.
Was she happy though?
No, absolutely.
Like...
No, she was. She was moved to tears. So months ago, she had shared with my husband and I that she really wanted us to be a part of it, but we weren't sure how it would work with the new baby and so on. And she was understanding of the fact that, you know, with a young baby, it could be challenging, but. We made it happen. So that's where I was. We had a wonderful time. Good morning to Miss Sonia Henry, my mother-in-law. Again, belated happy birthday to you. And yeah, we had a really good time. I'm tanned and rested.
Yes. You do look rested. Or like even without the makeup, you look rested around the eyes, and you just I like it. I like it.
So
I like
do I.
it. Yeah.
So
big up mommy-in-law.
Yes.
I'm just glad that she wasn't like, she didn't see and she was like,
turn. Yeah, just trying to escape those people.
So happy.
No, quite far from.
Gotcha. Your motivational quote this morning. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Teeks with the cheeks. Good morning. Good morning, Teeks. How are you?
Good morning, Dennis. I'm going to have to start to figure out a thing for you. Dennis, with
No.
I'm not there yet.
Only one word right with Dennis.
I'm not there yet. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's all right. It's all right.
Only. The entire room actually went,
The menace. Dennis the menace. No, he's not the menace. He's not the menace around. So CTOC destroys counterfeit cigarettes valued at $400 million. Working with the Jamaica Customs Agency Intelligence, the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch, CTOC, recently conducted an island-wide investigation where 624 cases of illicit cigarettes valued at an estimated $400 million were discovered and destroyed.
You know, this is an important story for multiple reasons. But I find that people, like people in the comment section, they always belittle these kinds of operations. And I'm like, do you not understand the importance of these things? Because, so for one, the counterfeit market very often funds the activities of the criminal underworld. That's one. Two, the counterfeit market negatively impacts our trade relationships with other with other countries, because you know that now Jamaica can be now an illegal dumping ground for substandard products. And also, many of the times when you see countries in having bilateral talks, a part of it is having conversations about, hey, we're seeing too many of our goods coming into your country and as illegal counterfeit, contraband. And the next point that people don't understand, especially with a thing like cigarette, where it's already bad for you, that you know have potentially substandard products. Or
yes. So, you know, usually, you know, I take cabbage, you know, local, you know, herbs, you know, spices, you know, sriracha, you know, now so you use, you know, pepper tree, like sauce. You know, basically you wanna, you know, store it in like a jar for at least 3, you know, weeks.
And if it's ferment.
So when it comes to like local cuisine, you just want to have like a garnish to help, you know, breaking it, you know, down. So that's how it came about.
But kimchi is also very good for you, right? Isn't it supposed to be good for gut health as well?
Yeah, for your immune, booster. Maintain blood high pressure as well.
Yes.
And like a few other things. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Nice. So how do you typically prepare it? Because I mean, it's not something you eat by itself. It's a side.
You can, but what I try to do is have it, with like different types of, food.
Like a protein.
Right. So we consume a lot of heavy, food. So, again, you need a product that can help, break it down.
Okay.
So
what you have for us this morning?
here we have whole jerk, breast. We also have ribs. As opposed to using a microwave, we do a technique called sous vide, which is taking that product and warm it up in a hot bath.
Okay.
So since this is being warmed up, I did some escovitch.
Oh, this is right up Dennis's street. Dennis
Yeah.
loves a good escovitch fish.
I heard that, and
In control, there's no limit to what you can do, 'cause it all belongs to you. Yes, it all belongs to you. Now I should know.
What do these people know that you don't know? They understand how listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange can improve the profitability of their company. They know the potential for increasing the company's capital, the governance requirements, the tax responsibilities, the ownership implications, and the procedures for listing. They have the knowledge to make an informed decision on whether or not to go public. Knowledge is power. If you don't know, you can't act. Begin a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange to gain the information you need to make a decision.
I'm Stafford Burrows.
I'm Marilyn Burrows.
My name is Hugh Graham.
I'm John Mafood.
My name is Derek Cottrell, and we are listed on the Jamaica Junior Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
So, this is a collection of financial investments or assets that are owned by an investor. Okay?
Portfolio.
That is correct. Portfolio. That is for your first one. $5,000. Wonderful. Number two, motor vehicles are classified as what kind of asset? Is it A, dependable assets, B, appreciating assets, C, depreciating assets? Yendi.
C, depreciating.
That is correct, depreciating assets. Number three. That is incorrect.
8.2?
Let's go again. So it's the principal, $10,000 that you would have invested.
Yes.
Put in the $10,000, multiplied by the rate that you're
10%.
getting. Give the equal.
Yeah.
Divide that by 365, and then you have invested this for 30 days.
Yes.
What is the
So you times the 365 by 30.
The result of 365 by the 30. $82 is what you have gotten as the interest.
That's literally what I did then, Howie.
So we get $3,000.
Just kidding.
And so we have come to the end.
Well done.
Let us see.
Well done.
Come, take out the money now. We want to see who would have walked away today with the most money.
It's Dennis.
Let us see. Dennis, how much money you get this morning?
Put that one down. You didn't have that last one.
Dennis,
So what did I get for winning the last one?
This is for the last one.
No, you said 10 extra points.
10 extra points. Yeah, man.
Okay, all right.
So you have your money and 10 points.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, $45,000 is mine!
Yendi, talk to me, Yendi. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
My money.
Ha ha! Money, ha ha!
Congratulations, Congratulations. Yendi, nice try.
Thank you.
But it's also a pleasure.
I guess as a child, I've always been the one. So I've always marched to my own drum. And when I was in university, when others were looking to go to like the US, Canada, or the UK, I wanted to try something different, fell in love with fashion and came to Japan. But I've always had the Jamaican in me. A part of it was I was Festival Queen for St. Mary in 2000, in the year 2000. So I've always been, Jamaica is Jamaica, and I want to speak proudly of who I am as a Jamaican, even while I was in Jamaica. So I've always been that kind of person who's into culture, is into food, who is into making sure that wherever I go, I represent my home, Jamaica, even in Jamaica. So I guess that was me, even while I was in Jamaica.
I like that because, sometimes we need to evolve. We can't, as we get older, we do the things that we love, but we kind of change in how we do them. Tell us about, going away on the JET program first and then evolving and saying, all right, I've had enough of this, but I still want to be here in Japan. How did that, come about?
Okay, fortunately, I came not on the JET program. I just came here as a resident in Japan and got up here teaching. I'm one of those weird not JET people that came here.
Because you tend to assume you went there and you were teaching JET.
No, I came here on a tourist visa and I found a job here. Yeah, I know, right? As I said, march to beat on my own drum.
Yeah.
So I came here as a tourist and I got a job and then I started teaching. However, I'm a trained teacher at home and the way in which I was teaching here wasn't really mentally stimulating because teaching English, after being a trained teacher, you didn't really have lesson plans, you weren't interacting with students and parents. So I thought that wasn't the best move for me and moved around recruiting. And then the Lehman crash happened. I started a family here and then started baking. I wish I could say there's a master plan, but there wasn't.
Okay, so 876 On The Go, we're a transportation and logistics solutions company formed in 2007.
Yes.
And we've been operating since. We've been endorsed by the Ministry of Transport and we're also licensed with the Transport Authority.
Right.
So when we heard that announcement, I believe it's really a knee-jerk reaction, and to be placed in a group of companies or with companies rather that are unregulated, that's where my concern came. Not just concern,
because
but
you're different, and I've heard you speak to the issue that I've heard you speak elsewhere, that you're not quite the same in terms of the technology that you provide, because you're not just a ride-hailing app. You do lots of other things.
Correct. So pretty much all ride-hailing apps, they offer similar services. However, being the company that we are, we have certain procedures for even a driver to come on board. So there's a proper screening process that they have to go through. They also have to be vetted. We get assistance from the JCF and the JDF during this process. So it's a long process where they have to produce a police record, proof of address. They also have to provide character references to include their current address, and we do an assessment and an evaluation.
You mentioned a particular word there, and like from you said it, I've been like, okay, that's the underscore, regulated.
Oh yes.
So for you, you're saying my company is regulated.
Absolutely.
We are secure. We have done our checks and balances. But is it safe to say then that everyone who acts as a ride-sharing app maybe are not regulated, and that is where the issue lies?
Currently in the space, everyone isn't, and that is where the problem lies.
What should that regulation look like?
So, well, we are licensed with the Transport Authority, and a part of that includes a driver having a PPV badge, which is a public passenger vehicle badge. We must have a road license, which is also a PPV license. We also need to have the insurance, proper insurance, PPV insurance, to ensure that the drivers are covered and also the passengers, should there be an accident, God forbid.
So the question posed to us today is, my name is Chantal, the friend of a victim who almost got raped from the driver she sought transportation services from through an app. Her experience has traumatized me, so I ask, what are the legal aspects of using services of this nature, and how can I protect myself? Well, joining us this morning to give us counsel on the matter is managing attorney at Right Legal, attorneys at law, Anwar Wright. Welcome to Sunrise. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
This topic is it's a very topical one at the moment, and one that I think really requires fleshing out. I don't think it should just be because of the circumstances at the moment, but really, let's answer her question. What legal protection does she have? What rights does she have?
What legislation
is in place?
governs this area of human life?
Well, the ride-sharing app or ride-hailing services. Yes. Well, there is no legislation in Jamaica that speaks to ride-sharing, that whole service that is provided. We have the Transport Authority Act and we have the Road Traffic Act, and they speak to only the public passenger vehicles that are allowed to transport passengers for hire. So if you're really operating contrary to that, you're operating no different from a robot.
CVM presents Copa Facts. Costa Rica. Costa Rica have competed in the Copa America 5 times and reached the quarterfinals twice. On 4 occasions, they have been directly invited. The Copa America Centenario in 2016 was a collaboration of the CONCACAF and the CONMEBOL, with Costa Rica qualifying by virtue of winning the 2024 Copa Centroamericana. Copa America 2024, brought to you by KFC. Courts.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
Well, it was a project designed actually pre-pandemic in 2019, where we decided that the hotel sector in particular, being large contributors to Jamaica's GDP, are also heavy energy users. And so we wanted to design a program specifically to impact the hotel sector to reduce the energy consumption, but most importantly to build resilience into the hotel sector, which would in turn build resilience into the energy sector as a whole, since hotels are such large contributors.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this for a long time. I remember in a budget presentation, I think it was Prime Minister Golding, so you know how long ago that was. It was about making hotels more energy efficient, you know, putting in place the technology to shut off lights when you come out of the room, all sorts of Have we not moved in this direction, or have we not moved fast enough?
We have, I think some may argue that we have not moved fast enough, but there's always so much more to do. Jamaica has long had targets for renewable energy, energy efficiency, energy resilience on a whole. So there's still a lot to do, and we believe with this program. So I didn't mention the hotel sector previously, but we're also pivoted to the manufacturing and exporters sector.
Right.
Most because of the pandemic. You remember 2020 and 2021, there was a large lockdown, and so we had to pivot to the manufacturing and exporters and other sectors, all aiming towards the same target of building energy resilience in Jamaica.
When we say energy resilience, for the layperson, what does that look like? What does that mean?
Sure. So energy resilience means, in particular for commercial and industrial players, in simple terms, they can continue to provide themselves with energy in the event of natural disasters, in the event of whatever reason the grid going down, fluctuating energy prices. They can continue to provide themselves with power, and they can also predict their cost of energy, which is also important, right? It's more predictable, it's more stable, and it's lower as well.
Well, it's a significant topic in the sense that many people are battling with infertility worldwide. This is not just a Jamaican phenomenon. infertility affects up to 15% of people. So if you think about it, 1 in every 7 couples that you know will be struggling with infertility.
Yeah.
Many of them either don't know it, or we do what we do when we have sensitive disorders. We go into hiding. It takes a long time for them to present, and therefore it becomes more difficult for us as clinicians to help them. So one of the things about Infertility Awareness Month is that we want to bring awareness to the disorder so that patients can present earlier, so that we can help them as quickly as possible in as natural a way as possible.
Yes, of course.
One of my challenges in the way we talk about infertility, I mean, even coming from, if we read the Bible, we read about a woman who was barren. And it often is the woman's issue, and not knowing that the woman is perfectly fine, but the woman is in a monogamous relationship with a man who cannot produce. From the men's side, tell me about infertility.
So that's one of the horrendous misconceptions that we have. Up to 50% of the time. I'm going to repeat it because it's a number that people have a difficulty conceptualizing.
Yes.
That means 1 in every 2 cases, there will be a male factor. There may be the male factor only, or there may be both a female and a male factor. So quite often the woman will present, we'll start investigations on them. You know, how's your partner? No, man, he's fine. He has 2, 3 children already. But those 2, 3 children were 10 years ago, and things may have happened since that. So you'll often find that men are reluctant to get tested. So as a result of that, that's another further delay in us being able to help these couples.
Is it that 2 people who are fine, but...
Okay, so this is my aloe spirulina hair treatment. It is formulated with aloe vera, spirulina, as well as coconut oil, rosemary, tea tree oil. And yes, that's just a bit of the contents of the product. And it's good for the hair, so it's for my natural hair girlies, as well as my processed hair girlies. And you could get some as well.
The follically challenged among us, yes.
Okay, so it's really just nourishing for the hair. The spirulina especially contains 70% protein, so you know it protects the hair from damage, as well as it repairs the hair, it nourishes the hair, and it really just goes into your scalp, it soothes the hair, so you're able to have longer hair and it's stronger.
You know, you're as a 4-H club member, tell us about, because this is what I want to see 4-H doing. You know, it's about the modern new face of agriculture. That's you. Tell us about what got you into 4-H and what keeps you going to 4-H club. What school do you go to, by the way?
Knox College. So it's in Clarendon, Spalding's Clarendon.
Right.
One college, Knox College.
If you never that, you couldn't go back at school, you know?
I'll get some meetings.
So tell us about, the 4-H club. Why 4-H?
So it wasn't really a what, but a who. So my older sister, Chrisella, she was a former Girl of the Year, so she was a former 4-H Youth Ambassador, however not national, it was for the parish of Manchester. And she saw the potential within me that I really did not see in myself. She introduced me to agriculture, home economics, volunteerism, and from her introduction I was able to garner some skill sets. However, the 4-H club really refined me and allowed me to be who I am today, so I stayed.
You notice that she gonna be a beauty pageant girl. Like, you see?
All she needed to do on the back of that was thank you, Jamaica.
you realize that you're gonna I'm saying it now, she's gonna enter Festival Queen, and then she's gonna transition from Festival Queen to Miss Jamaica or Miss World.
Yeah, man.
I've said it first, because you're just that girl.
Thank you so much.
I swear to God, I not even know which spot.
I just a vibe, to dance all that.
We're not just Jamaica, we have life. Everybody want to be we, and everybody want to beat we. We want our best players on the field at all times. So obviously, mega feel some type of way.
I know you feel that way, but Kingstonian people really feel music only stop at Kingston.
Well, you're not
no, so that done,
no, even know them things.
You can't say that no. opportunity to play against Messi.
Me was a Ronaldo fan at first.
Yeah.
But he said, me play against him. I said, no, sir.
That's South Africa.
This a man, him not come from planet Earth. That man, alien man.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
Cesar Huerta pounces. It's a wonderful finish from Luis Chavez.
Thanks for staying with us. Time definitely flies when good things are happening, but you know what time it is. It's time for our final thoughts.
Yeah.
Michael, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is that difficult or hard conversations will always happen. The reality of it is that you should be patient and respond with love. If what you're saying cannot be positively expressed, then don't express it. Ask for some more time to meditate on it and come back later when you're in a better headspace. The reality of it is that we have to live with these individuals, but we also have to live with ourselves, and guilt is not something we want to carry.
Yeah, that's true. That's awesome. For me, I always want to speak to those who do have a fear, those who don't want to talk to their boss about salary for fear of losing a job or a relationship that they don't want to lose or a friendship that is too precious. And so that's how a lot of I've lived my life in I don't know if it's fear or just deciding to make peace instead or just deciding to override it with just not being offended. But I do love your little techniques, and so I think I might make practice, like your sandwich effect, start with something complimentary and then move in middle and end. And Barbie just coming from a place of empathy and asking questions. So I am going to take the approach of I'm moving into this space, having learned what you guys have taught me, and we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah.
And my final thoughts are that difficult conversations are difficult because they just are. So it's easy if it's easy, it's hard if it's hard. It doesn't get easier if you decide not to have the conversation. So just decide ahead of time how you would want to be approached and just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And sometimes I think it's also about being honest and open with yourself about who you're about to have the conversation with. And